one degree. I am living with cancer. I need research more than anything in this entire world. I'm here today to tell you my story and just how research helps me. In 2008, I was bouncing from doctor to doctor, knowing in my gut that something wasn't right. I had never felt more helpless, scared, or lost in my entire life. After meeting with a new primary care physician, it was recommended that I get a genetic test for a disorder that runs in my family. I had this test done at H. Lee Moffitt Cancer Center, which is the only National Cancer Institute designated comprehensive cancer center in Florida. On February 16th, 2009, I found out why I was sick, and my life changed forever. My life will never be the same. My test was positive. I had a genetic disorder called multiple endocrine neoplasia type 2A. The disorder causes problems with my endocrine system, including tumors of the adrenal glands and medullary thyroid cancer, which has no systemic cure at this time. Medullary can grow slowly, but metastasizes very quickly. So while the cancer wasn't aggressive, it was already in my lymph nodes. So we determined that it was something I would probably have to live with for the rest of my life. Chemotherapy and radiation are generally ineffective, and because of the inability to cure this disease, people with it depend heavily on clinical trials and research. Research. We need research. The good news for me is I don't have to endure chemo. The bad news for me is I don't have an option. I would love to have an option. My cancer's been slow growing or stable for the past 6.5 years, and I could not be more grateful because it has given me the opportunity to tell my own story. I need to tell my story. I will tell my story until there is a cure for my cancer. Did you know that the 2 most effective ways to fight cancer in this country are to talk to your lawmakers and support the American Cancer Society? The federal government is the largest funder of research in the United States. The American Cancer Society is the largest non-governmental funder of research. We need both of them. Without this funding, there are no new drugs for people like me. Currently, the National Institute of Health is holding a vaccination trial on medullary thyroid cancer. When sequestration took place, this study was briefly halted. People's lives were in jeopardy. It was ACS CAN that helped ensure that this funding stayed where it needed to be. ACS CAN also gave me opportunities to travel to Tallahassee and Washington, D.C. to meet with and tell my story to lawmakers. I was able to tell them how people with my disease are desperate for research, that our only hope right now is clinical trials and research. I told them how sequestration affects my disease and how I need a cure. Again, I will tell my story until there is a cure for my cancer. My 1 degree has become so much more. I don't just speak for myself. I speak for my friends, Liz and Maureen, who died of the same disease. Maureen passed away 2 days ago. Liz was a 27-year-old young mother. That is completely unacceptable. I speak for my friend Bill, whose life was extended by Caprelsa, a new drug developed after extensive research that cut his tumor markers in half. He survived for 8 years longer than doctors predicted. He passed away last week. Bill was my mentor, a father figure, and I will miss him forever. I speak for every person that bounces from clinical trial to clinical trial, hoping that this one will be the one. While my cancer has been stable for several years, my doctors don't know why. I don't know why my friends had to die, and I don't know why this happened to me. I may never have answers, but I do know that I can choose to wallow in my sorrow or to live each and every single day fully and completely. I choose today. I choose a good quality of life. I choose this moment. I choose to speak up, advocate, educate. I choose to fight, and I will never lose the fight in my voice. Before I go, I want to share a quote with you. Margaret Mead was a cultural anthropologist who died of pancreatic cancer, and she said, "Never doubt that a small group of committed people can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. Please help me eradicate this vile disease and hold lawmakers accountable. I deserve a long, fulfilling life. I deserve more birthdays. We all deserve more birthdays. My name is Becky McKenzie. I am from Florida's 19th Congressional District. I have a voice. I am a supporter of Relay for Life, and I am ready to paint the world purple.